Hello friends. I just came back from the gym, so this is like my hat hair, kind of just like whatever, it's all over the place. And I'm gonna cut my hair, and I wanted to show you guys how I cut my own hair, and if you guys want any tips on how to cut your own hair, hopefully this video will help you out. So first of all, I'm gonna wet my hair and then blow dry it because the sides have been pushed down by my hat. So I want them to stick straight out so that I can get a nice even cut with the razor. So let's go do that. It's cold! Nice. So this is the razor that I'm going to be using. I don't even know how to pronounce this, so I'm not going to try, but this is what it is. It's really good. My mom, she's a hairdresser, and she recommended getting this one. It works really well. It has the nice tapering levels here on the side. It came with the guards 1 to 4. And I don't really think it matters too much on which one you get. Like obviously some are better quality than others, but I think more so if you take care of it, it'll last you a long time. So don't forget to lubricate your blades every time you use them. Okay, so this is taper level 1, which is the shortest cut. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're gonna use these to help blend from going from 2 to 3, which is what I generally do for my haircuts. So first I'm gonna start off with taper level 0, the shortest one, on guard number 2. And I'm gonna create basically an outline of where I want my 2 to fade into 3. But below that will be all just level 1, guard number 2, if that makes sense. So I don't have my contacts in, so I'm gonna have to put on my glasses for the back of my head, but for the front, it's very easy. I try not to go too far behind my ear because I can't see that just looking straight on, so I'll save that for after. Okay, now the other side. Alright, so I've already started the line that's 2 and then my uncut hair above that. So it's just a line straight across. I'll probably dip down a bit as I get to the back of my head. And to get the back, I use this handheld mirror. So what I can see in the mirror is the back of my head in this big mirror. Okay, that was, to be honest, pretty crappy, but I need my glasses to see it, so I'm just gonna do like a rough outline first. Here we go, glasses. So now I can clearly see the back of my head, and this is where I'll make the line a lot more smooth and not so jagged. Seeing if it's equal, not really. Okay, so once I'm done the main line, now I like to go back and just go over what I've already cut to make sure I get all those missing pieces. I've been going straight up, but you gotta kind of go on diagonals, go the other way, just to get those hard to get pieces. You don't have to push that hard, but since you're constantly rubbing this razor against your scalp, you'll have little flakes of skin coming off. Don't worry, it's not dangerous or anything. You're just like scratching your head pretty hard over a long period of time. I'm also just gonna make sure the line is nice and straight. Good enough. Get this side down. And then now the back. Now this does take a lot of practice, and like my first few haircuts were really bad, to be honest. But I think after probably the 10th time, I started getting very used to the feel of looking through here and then cutting somewhere else you're not actually looking. And especially using my left hand, like it's not as easy as my right, but it gets easier for sure. I love hearing that sound when it catches hairs. It's like OCD satisfaction. I could probably do this for hours, realistically, if I could just keep hearing that sound. Play around with the head angle so you can get the hairs at different angles, not just straight up like this. It's really good when you create a flat surface for the razor to cut over. If I were just standing normal like this, it'd be a lot harder for sure, and you wouldn't catch all the hairs. Okay, so now I've made the straight line all the way around of the 2. Now I'm gonna go to 3 and just fade up and eventually just pull off as I'm cutting. That way it's like kind of making the fade itself. So the taper is still at level 1. So find out what hairs you don't want to cut, pull them off to the side, and then just go straight up. So I try to stop just behind my ear because I can't see what I'm doing, and I'll save behind here for the mirror. So as I get to the top, I'm pulling off from my head so that it's not a straight cutoff of where the 3 meets the rest of the long hair. So basically what I'm trying to do with this like haircutting tactic is go short, create the outline of where I want the fade to start, then go to the next guard level and just fade up from there so that you'll see a definite line of long hairs and then shorter hairs below it. And it'll be very easy to see the line. And then from there, I go back to the 2, and now I use the taper levels to get me back up gradually to 3, fading from the line upwards. So typically what I'll do is I'll go to the biggest taper level, the 5. These are the blades. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is the biggest taper level. It's longer than 1. So I'm at level 5 and I'll go from the line where the 2 to 3 stops and I'll shape upwards close to the top of where I ended off with 3. So not all the way to the top, but I'll stop just short of that. And as you get close to where you ended off at the 3, you can angle the razor away from your head to create that same pull-off effect as you were doing with the 3. It's just a little bit of a cleaner fade than just going straight up and stopping. It's nice to kind of pull off and get that like basically microscopic difference in fading. So as you do this, try to keep a mental note of where you're stopping. That way when you go back down to the lower taper levels, you can say, okay, well with the 5th taper level I stopped roughly about there. So on the 4th or 3rd one, I'll pull off a little earlier. Sorry, I'm kind of blocking the camera with this mirror, but this is the best view that I can get, so deal with it. And to be honest, sometimes I don't even move my hand. I just keep doing the same motion and I'll move my head instead. Because as this is moving back and forth, it may be hard to stabilize it as you cut along the side. But turning my head, I can keep an eye on it while just like very stably, steadily rotating my head. Now do the same thing for the level 4, 3, 2 taper. Although sometimes I'll go from 5 to 3 and then to 2, just because like I don't care to do number 4, like it's good enough. 1 you don't have to do again because remember 1 is the shortest and that's what we originally did in the first place. So now I'm at taper level 3, I'm going to go up the side of my head again, stopping just a little bit before 5. Remember slightly pulling off or slightly angling off the head as you move backwards. Now the back, still on taper level 3. Fading just below the 5 level taper that we did. And honestly, checking in the mirror is sometimes hard because I forget that I can move my head to see different angles. Like if I'm trying to see this part right here, I can either do this or I can move this. But sometimes I forget to move one or the other, so maybe it's better to find the angle first and then start cutting. To be honest, your shoulders will get sore, your hands especially will get sore from gripping this razor. But you kind of just get used to it or just don't think about it. Just gonna take a quick pause and just see that it's not like completely messed up. So it doesn't look like terrible. I'm gonna move to the level 2 taper now, still keeping with the level 2 guard. And this will be from the original first 2 line that we made, just above that. Because it's just a tiny bit longer than that original 2 guard level 1 taper. Maybe when I'm super loaded, I'll just go to the barber and do whatever, but until then, cut my own hair. I'm gonna take the 1 guard and go down here and just clean up the bottoms and maybe try to make a straight line across. Level 1 guard. I'm gonna go back to the level 1 taper, the shortest one, just because I want it really short right at the bottom. Now this one's kind of hard because as you twist your neck, you'll change it up, so you gotta kind of keep it as neutral as possible and just kind of use your eyes to see where you're cutting. And it does get kind of difficult, but you can do it. Now for the scary part, left hand. Okay, I think I just messed up and went too high, so now I gotta make the right side a little higher. Yeah, definitely made it. Yeah, you can definitely see it. I don't know if you guys can see it, I'll show you. So I messed that up, but easy fix, just go to the right side. Honestly, if you're doing something this short on the back of your head, take it really slow. And then now, just to be nice, I will taper just a little bit. So I'll go back to the 5 taper, 1 guard, hardly even an inch, just like go up, pull off, and then I'm gonna go back to the 3 taper, 1 guard. Same thing, just a little bit lower where I pulled off from the 5. Another tip is if you find yourself kind of struggling and you're not sure if you go shorter or you kind of just are not sure what you're doing, it's not a bad idea to stop while you're ahead and just let it grow out for maybe a day or 2, because sometimes it sits differently after being in bed for the night, or if you're wearing a hat, it'll sit differently. Maybe it'll fix itself in that sense. Oh shoot, I gotta do this side too. This one I might just start at the level 5 taper though, just because I don't care to go super short on the sides and fade it. I might just go level 5 up. Nice. And now I'll clean up around the ears. There's like small little pieces that I couldn't get with the level 2. So I'm gonna bring it down to the shortest taper on the 1 guard. And I'll just kind of like pull my ear away and just take off the pieces like this. Okay, so we've done everything up to from the shortest hair all the way to where the short hair meets the long hair. But that fade itself, where the 2 lengths of hair meet, is not that good of a transition, because as you can see, immediately from short to long, it gets this long, which you can make it look good if you want like a straight undercut or a harsh cut. I don't remember what it's called. But I like to go to the 4 and kind of do the same thing I did with the 3 and just pull off, just to kind of make it so it's not such a huge difference immediately. But I think personally, for castings, it's better to have a more generalized look rather than a straight undercut, because you could do more with that since it's longer. You can make it look like a nice comb over, or you can make it spiky, or I could probably pull it into a man bun if I wanted to. But if I have the straight undercut that's harsh, you could do a comb over in different hairstyles, but you'll be able to see that definite cutoff, which they may not want. I'm at the 4th guard, level 1 taper. So I'm gonna pick out which hairs I wanna shorten a little bit, and then slowly cut them off a little bit. And it doesn't have to be super clean, unless you want it super clean, but sometimes a little bit of unevenness is nice, or it creates a better look, maybe more texture. So as you can see already, it's just a little bit shorter than where I had it before. The cutoff isn't as harsh. And that is pretty much how to give yourself a fade. Sometimes I'll do the top part of my hair, but it's kind of a little more risky, so I'll usually leave that for my mom to do. Or if you want to go to a dresser and just get them to do that part. Head is nice and streamlined now. There's no... Yeah, that's how you cut your hair. I know it doesn't look that good right now, but like when I gel it, it looks better. Definitely if you're gonna try this out, which I encourage you to do, because like to be honest, it's kind of fun. If you're just starting out, definitely start with a little bit of maintenance. I wouldn't go full on change your hairstyle using your own razor, just because it is kind of risky. Unless you don't care, then do whatever you want. Like, damn, go bald for all I care. Don't forget to brush off and clean your razor every once in a while. Yeah, that does a little bit. And don't forget to lubricate and clean your blades afterwards as well. If you have any questions, let me know. If you want to see more haircutting videos, I guess sure, but I do the same thing every time, so maybe if I change it up, I'll show you guys. I don't know, it took me maybe an hour and a bit. I guess I could just check the video, it's been running this whole time. Okay, nice, I just checked it, it took me 54 minutes, and that's even going slow because I have to explain stuff to you guys, so. It does get easier, you'll find out different techniques. Pulling off and like angling away as you cut upwards, that's just something I found, and that's made a huge difference in terms of how clean going from level 2 to 3 is and all the in-between. Instead of being like jagged, it's more like a very nice gradual fade. Yeah, more videos to come. Hope you guys are getting excited. Alright, now get out of here. Get out of here.